And I'd like Mayor Lansford to please come forward and make an announcement. David.
This is the last thing I wanted to do today. There's no doubt about that. This afternoon, as we all know, a very tragic and senseless act took place at our library. Two individuals have lost their life, and their families will not see them come home this evening. And 4 other people have been injured, some severely. This is a big blow to our community. Our community is a community that places a high value on life and the sanctity of life. And each life that lives in this community is precious. And so we're all hurting right now as a result of what took place this afternoon. We are a strong community. We're a faith-based community, and I know that the faith community will rise up and wrap their arms around those who are hurting and those who are in need of care. And so I want you to know that we're grieving for the families. Our prayers and our thoughts are continuously going out to them, their friends and loved ones. And before I turn it over to Chief Ford, I want to say how proud I am of our Clovis Police Department as well for their quick and immediate response. This could have been much worse, but because of their training and their expertise and their courage, it was kept at a minimum. And so I appreciate you being here. I want to ask all of you to say a prayer for this community and those who have been impacted by this tragedy. And we've been hit hard, but we're a community that will get back up. And we will see a brighter day at some time in the future. But right now we're hurting, and we're asking for your prayers and your thoughts and your concerns. And so appreciate you being here, and I'll turn this over to Chief Douglas Ford.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Mayor said I'm Douglas Ford, Chief of Police at the Clovis Police Department. As you all know, approximately 4:13 hours today, we had a call for a mobile active shooter at our Clovis Carver Public Library. Initial officers responding arrived quickly, immediately went into the building, made contact with the suspect, who immediately gave up, was taken into custody as we continued to clear the building, make sure we didn't have any more shooters or individuals that were going to be threats to anybody else in that building or us. Once we had finished that, we immediately began getting care to our wounded personnel that were inside. As the Mayor said, unfortunately, we have 2 people who have died from this incident. Their families are being notified. We're not going to release names until we have the families properly notified. We have 4 that have been transported to our hospital here and now have been transported on to other areas for advanced care. I'm not sure exactly where they've all gone. Possibly some of them to Texas, possibly some of them may be gone farther north in Mexico. At this point, I can't tell you that. And that's where we're at now. Needless to say, we're in the middle of this investigation. The library is closed down. That area is closed down while we do our investigation, take care of what we need to do to protect the scene and get it all documented. The shooter is in custody, and we are finishing up the warrants, and he will be taken from there once we have all the warrants signed. And that's basically where we're at this point. Again, this is a very young stage of this investigation, so we're not going to have a whole lot more we can tell you until we've had more time to finish up gathering all the details and the data and to be able to look at everything we need to look at, so we make sure we've done everything correctly for this investigation. Sir?
Are you able to release the age of the suspect?
No, not at this time. Yes, sir.
Can you release the age or genders of the victims and those in the hospital right now?
We have 2 females and 2 males.
Two females and 2 males in the hospital?
Yes.
And what about the individuals who didn't make it?
We have 2 females that are deceased at this time.
Can you give us an age on
No,
this?
I don't have that. I'm sorry.
Chief, I understand that it's very early in this investigation.
Yes.
Was there any indication as to what started this incident?
No. We have none at this point. Like I said, we're in the infancy of this, and we'll have to gather all the rest of the information and talk to him and find out if he'll give us any other information. Once we know more, it'll probably be tomorrow or later before we can give more information about it at this point.
With the suspect in custody, do you know if this person is known to your department?
I don't at this time. I really don't. Yes, sir?
My question was going to be, can you give us his name, please?
No, I can't.
So was the young man who was taken out in handcuffs the primary suspect?
I'm sorry?
The young man who was taken in handcuffs, was he the primary suspect?
As far as we know, yes.
Just one suspect?
Yes. At this point, that's what we do know is, right now, we just know we had one person inside that was a suspect.
Chief, you said that the warrants are being drawn up now. What are those warrants going to be?
At this time, I'm not going to get into that because, again, we're still in the immediate parts of this investigation. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us what types of guns were used or how many?
No, ma'am, I don't know that at this point. I really don't. Yes, sir.
You said 4 people have been hospitalized. Do you know what condition they're in
No,
right now?
I don't have it at this point. They were transported out of here, from here. 3 were transported by AeroCare and Life Flight, and 1, I understand, was taken by ground. Yes, sir.
You mentioned a little bit about a situation like this impacting a community. Clovis is a really small community, and it's pretty tight-knit. How does the community come together and deal with something like this?
And we're dealing with something like this, was all come together because we are a small community, and we do work so well together, and we all want to be a great community that we'll basically work together and get through it all. I can tell you, as soon as it happened, we had support coming in from everywhere, from my fellow police chiefs and agencies throughout this state, and even the agencies and people within this community. So I guarantee you, we've already had many, many phone calls, much outpouring to us and to everybody involved and to the victims, and that's the way we do things here, and it will happen, and we will come together.
Chief, upon arrival, did your officers take fire?
No, they did not. No.
Will there be any type of counseling available to the officers?
Yes, we already, Chief Mike Nolan has a CIT team that's already inbound for my personnel, for his personnel, and I will mention that his personnel were on scene immediately. This was an immediate response. They were right there, and as soon as we had immediate clearing done and began getting victims to them, they immediately got them out of there and got them treated. We have a great fire EMS group. He's had a CIT team put together, and they are start coming in tomorrow to help with everybody involved.
This question may be better suited for the mayor, but what measures are being taken for helping those who were involved at the library? And their family members and counseling, things of that nature.
In addition to what the chief just mentioned, I know that I've had phone calls from pastors in the community already, members of the faith-based community that are ready to reach out in any way that we ask them to. And I'm very confident that the arms of this community be wrapped around anyone who is hurting.
What are the next stages in the investigation?
I'm sorry?
What's next in the investigation? The next stage?
Basically, it's us getting the crime scene completely done and putting everything together for the case. So that's where we're at this point.
And Chief, any idea about how many people were inside that library?
No, ma'am, I really don't. There were people in there, and they were taken from there across the courthouse and were talked to over there, but I cannot give you a number right now.
And I know you also, the investigation is still ongoing, but is the reason why you can't identify the suspect is because it is still ongoing?
Yes. We don't want to hurt any part of our investigation at this point and make sure it's proper and correct. So that's all we have at this point. If we have any more, we will notify y'all when it comes time for any other, these kind of press conferences or any other information that will be released.
Chief, when you took the suspect into custody, did he turn himself over to you, or did you have to actively?
No, he did give up.
He did give up?
Yes. He gave up when officers made contact
Inside the
with him.
library?
Yes.
And he didn't resist?
No.
Handcuffed, taken
No,
out?
yes. Okay. Thank you, folks. Mayor, you have anything else, sir?
Well, we appreciate everybody being here on this very sad day, but as the mayor and the chief have said, we've faced tough things in the past, and we're going to face this head on. Just keep all of the folks that have either had losses in their families or injuries, keep them in your prayers. It's tough times, but that's what we'll do what we need to do. So as additional information is available that we can share, we certainly will do that. So thank you.